Are shooters coming to PoE 2? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm SamyCaps, and today we're continuing our video series on all the classes that are speculated to be playable in early access on November 15th. Now, if you haven't watched my prior videos, go onto my YouTube channel. We demonstrated and showcased the Ranger and the Monk, so you can go check out those videos. But there are going to be a total of 12 classes that are going to be in Path of Exile 2 in the full game. But it is speculated in early access on November 15th, only 6 to 8 of those classes are going to be playable on November 15th. So we are creating the series of videos that are going to cover the 6 to 8 classes that will be playable on November 15th. Again, speculated, this can change at any time. Now, I have a lot of people in my community and new people coming to my channel because of my PoE 2 content that have never played Path of Exile, have never stepped foot in raid class. So I wanted to equip them with this knowledge, information, and maybe it'll help them decide on what class to play if they choose to play early access on November 15th. So today's spotlight is on one of the most unique classes in PoE 2, the Mercenary. If you love tactical gameplay with high damage potential, explosive grenades, and the ability to crowd control with precision, the Mercenary might just be the class of choice. Stick around to find out how the Mercenary plays, what skills you'll be using, and how this class brings a shooter-like experience into the ARPG genre. So, without further ado, this is the Mercenary class. Let's start with the basics. The Mercenary is a strength dexterity hybrid class specializing in crossbows, a brand new weapon type introduced in Path of Exile 2. Unlike bows, crossbows fire instantly and provide an experience closer to traditional shooter mechanics. Think of it like switching between sniper rifles, shotguns, and assault rifles, depending on the crossbow you're using. You can equip 2 crossbows at once, allowing you to seamlessly switch between them during combat. Whether you're clearing packs of enemies or taking down powerful bosses, the Mercenary's versatility with crossbows and ammo types make it highly adaptable for various combat situations.
In Path of Exile 2, we have crossbows that work like sniper rifles, shotguns, and assault rifles. But in order to really get shooter-like gameplay, we wanted to go further. In Path of Exile 2, we now support WASD movement. You can now walk around in any direction independent of aiming. In fact, if this is your preferred method of gameplay, you can use it on any class, regardless of what weapon type you're using. You can change between click to move or WASD at any time.
Now, the Mercenary's combat revolves around 3 major components: crossbows, ammo types, and attachments. Let's break it down. Crossbows. Each crossbow grants a different firing style. For example, the burst shot crossbow fires bursts of armor-piercing rounds, while the power shot crossbow deals massive damage to single targets. Ammo types. There are several ammo types, each adding a layer of strategy. For instance, incendiary ammo ignites enemies, permafrost ammo freezes them, and armor-piercing ammo allows you to hit multiple enemies at once. Attachments. These function like grenades or traps, adding an explosive element to your attacks. Grenade attachments, such as flash grenades that stun enemies or oil grenades that slow them down, can turn the tide of battle. Combining these elements allows for thousands of unique combos in combat, from setting up traps with oil grenades to burning enemies with incendiary shots.
These attachments are just like skill gems, so you effectively get extra skill slots, and you can augment these with support gems, just like regular skills. These grenades take a while to explode, so it's a good idea to pair them with some kind of crowd control, like permafrost burst shot. We have other grenades too though. This attachment is a flash grenade. It does barely any damage, but it does a huge amount of stun. It can be a great opener before you run into combat.
Surprise!
Now, here's another attachment, an oil grenade. Firing one of these grenades coats the ground and nearby enemies in oil. Oil slows enemies down, so it's another useful crowd control mechanic. Now, another thing that oil can do is be set on fire. Any burning enemy or explosion will ignite the oil, causing extra burning damage. One of the problems with burst shot crossbows is that each pellet doesn't do much damage individually. This means that if enemies have armor, then it will be very effective preventing that damage. But thankfully, you can equip an additional crossbow in your second weapon set to deal with the weaknesses of your primary weapon. This is a rapid shot crossbow. Rapid shot is great for closing on enemies because you can shoot while running. In Path of Exile 2, we now have the ability to allow you to use some skills while moving. Being able to create skills like this opens up a lot of new design space and allows us to really increase the pace of combat. The armor-piercing version of Rapid Shot slowly erodes a monster's armor. Once the armor is fully broken, you can easily switch back to Burst Shot to deal much more damage. Being able to run while shooting with Rapid Shot is also great for when you want to perform a fighting retreat.
Reload!
Using permafrost ammo with Rapid Shot is also useful if you need to retreat. When you shoot the ground, it creates ice crystals. If you draw monsters back over these crystals, they explode, chilling the monsters. It's great if you want to set up a safe zone before pulling the next pack. Slowing enemies down can come in handy if you want to use the incendiary version of Rapid Shot. Using this skill requires that you charge up a little bit before it fires, but as it continues to heat up, it will do more and more damage. It has a really large clip size, so you can just keep firing and firing with it. But the other really useful feature is that when the crossbow is heated up, it adds extra fire damage to any grenade that you launch. Now I've been using explosive grenades here, but it will work equally as well with flash or oil grenades too. If you use it with oil grenades, the oil will catch fire immediately. Another crossbow type that you can find is Power Shot. This one works just like a classic sniper rifle. Use it with armor-piercing ammo and it will penetrate armor on targets, so it's a good idea to use when something's really tough.
Back down or die!
Now this skill has another interesting interaction with armor break. If an enemy has its armor broken, then your Power Shot hits a weak spot and does a huge amount of single target damage, with a bunch of extra stun for good measure.
Bullseye!
Now, the incendiary version of Power Shot is more like a rocket launcher. It does a big explosive blast at a distance. One of the really useful features of this version is that you can explode any grenades that happen to be on the ground. This combo also works really well with Incendiary Rapid Shot. I'm going to charge up the heat on my crossbow, shoot out a bunch of grenades, and then start the fireworks with a power shot. The ice version of Power Shot creates frost walls at a distance. This is great for crowd controlling monsters in tight passages. The wall segments have other uses too. If they get destroyed by monsters, then they will explode, doing a small amount of damage.
Block him in!
So how does the Mercenary feel to play? If you've ever enjoyed a tactical shooter, this class will feel like second nature. You'll rely on positioning, quick decisions, and knowing when to switch crossbows and ammo types. Unlike the traditional Ranger class, the Mercenary strength lies in controlling the battlefield with explosive attacks and precise long-range shots. Want to destroy large enemy groups? Equip armor-piercing ammo and use burst shot to pierce through waves of enemies. Need to freeze a boss to slow them down? Switch to permafrost ammo and follow up with power shot to trigger ice explosions. The combination of WASD movement and crossbow-based combat introduces a fresh and fast-paced gameplay style that feels more like a third-person shooter, a new direction for ARPGs. The Mercenary is shaping up to be one of the most innovative classes in Path of Exile 2, merging elements of shooter mechanics with classic ARPG gameplay. Whether you're freezing enemies, igniting them, or creating tactical explosions with grenades, the Mercenary's playstyle is all about control, precision, and high damage.
Take this! Piercing shot!
What have you done? Come, my children!
Freeze!
Dismember!
What is going on in this godforsaken city?
And that's the Mercenary. It feels totally different than anything we've made before, and shows you the range of what's possible in Path of Exile 2.
That display of the crossbow heating up, and the more it heated up, the more fire damage you got. That was, wow. That was amazing to watch. So if you're into the shooter type play style, the Mercenary might just be for you. Now, I do want to mention a couple of other things. It is speculated, obviously. I'm doing the video on it, so it is speculated that the Mercenary is going to be playable on November 15th, but time will tell once we get confirmation. Hopefully, we'll get that with the Grinding Gear Games live stream, which is literally a couple of weeks away, and it's going to be hopefully a couple of weeks before the early access, so we all know what's going on. But the Mercenary is a strength and dexterity build, like I said in the video. and it will share the same starting point as the Duelist on the PoE 2 passive skill tree. Now, the Duelist is speculated not to be playable on November 15th. It will be a class available when Path of Exile 2 launches the full game, but the Mercenary Duelist will have the same starting point on the passive skill tree. So, what do you think? Will you be choosing the Mercenary class in PoE 2's early access on November 15th if it's confirmed in a couple of weeks that it will be playable on November 15th? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the rest of our video series covering all the PoE 2 classes that are speculated to be playable on November 15th. And as always, thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll hope to see you next time. Take care. The opinions expressed in this video are mine and solely mine. Healthy debate is always encouraged. Hate is never welcomed. So get over it.